Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
We're going streaking!
Dave's Video Graveyard.
That guy in little clothes. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
I'm not a smart man.
Shut up!
One tubby.
What's wrong with him?
My first thought would be alive.
Why so serious?
Wise man say forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hey, Ma! The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf!
Of all the radio shows in the world, this is definitely one of them. Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 WOWFM.
Okay, you people sit tight, hold the fort, and keep the home fires burning. And if we're not back by dawn, call the president.
It is 100.5 WOWFM, Dave's Video Graveyard for your Monday night. Big thanks to Greenie taking us through Rev Heads. Paulie, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing very good. How's your week been? What have you been watching?
Well, I managed to set some time aside for our podcast and watch a movie, of which I watched 45 minutes of the wrong movie before sending you a message about the quality of the movie, at which point you told me I was watching the wrong film. So that was upsetting. So I switched over to Netflix and watched I.O. or O.I.
Okay, how was that?
Really boring.
Okay, cool.
Very similar to watching paint dry, except I get paid to watch paint dry most of the time. So that's
Is that the one where they have to get off the planet Earth? And okay.
It's just grey wash boringness. Get
Well,
into it.
we're on a cutting edge movie show where I talk about stuff that came out this year, recent stuff. So I've been watching the 2005 procedural cop show, The Closer.
Yeah, right.
with starring Cara Sedgwick.
Now,
and that's been my world for the last 2 weeks.
Shout out to anyone in the world that has their Google notifications turned on for that show. For the first time in about 10 years, that would have gone off.
Oh, I don't even know why I like it. It's just so easy to watch. It's
now,
really good.
Joining us this evening, we are doing another guest choice special. We have a very special guest in studio, already on the fast track to basically be better than us at radio, but we'll make sure to ruin
It's a very
that.
short track.
Yeah. It's not even really a track. It's maybe a doormat would probably be the thing.
Yeah.
So we're joined by Ticia Rose. How you doing?
Hey guys, I'm really good. Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime. Now, tell everybody who you are.
So my name is Ticia Rose, and I am Wrestle Rampage's own social media queen and your local 80s heavy metal kid stuck in 1986.
Yeah, right.
Nice.
I won't mention what year I was born.
Hey, it's embarrassing if you know what year I'm born and where I'm stuck.
Nice. I remember the 5 years of the 80s.
Sounds like
It
the
was great.
mid-90s. I'm in a cafe in Seattle.
Oh, God.
Wearing a flannel shirt, trying to be cool.
Oh, no
I'm
thanks.
stuck firmly inside of a Stussy symbol, so
You are the Stussy symbol personified.
pretty much.
You're the Mambo dog peeing on everything.
Now, we are somewhat of a safe haven for the indie wrestling scene, particularly local. Big fans of all the local guys. You helm from the world of Wrestle Rampage.
Yes, I do. So I've been so lucky to be a part of Wrestle Rampage for the last 6, almost 7 years. And it's just, it's like the biggest, most exciting part of my life is the fact that no matter what, I always have a home at Wrestle Rampage. And yeah, it's just super rad. And being their queen is like the best job that I could ever do.
Now, I did hear that Luke Hazard was a bit put out because he was their queen before you came along.
I mean, Luke's always going to be a queen, but
Yeah.
like I'm the queen. I mean,
Right. So he's a queen and you're the queen.
pretty much.
Careful now.
Yeah. Sorry, Hazard. I still love you.
Awesome. Now you have... I've just...
Dave's chair just went against him. It was amazing.
I discovered a new lever on the chair with my leg just then, and if we want to label that one, it's the fold down quickly button. So a bit of, as breaking the mold yet again, some more visual humour on radio, because that's what we are here to do. We're pushing the envelope. This is all something you can take on into your radio career.
Awesome. Can't wait.
Check levers on the chair.
Don't push your leg really hard against the lever of the chair would be maybe step 2. So, yeah, you have given us a list of your absolute favourite films.
Yes.
Very diverse.
A little bit.
There's a few that are well-trodden paths.
We get to talk about John Hughes.
We certainly do. What else is going on, Paulie? Any news in the world of movies this week?
Well, you might have heard that like our childhood's got smashed. It's just going to be just terrible because they're making a Ghostbusters movie. Oh, no, wait, this one's got men in it, so no one's complaining.
Ooh.
So this should be good. Ivan Reitman's son, Jason Reitman, he's already been filming it. There's a teaser trailer out already.
Yep.
Look, I'm sure it'll be watched. I'm sure it'll be great. It's a follow-on from the Ghostbusters, not the new, the reboot. But yeah, it's just funny. You don't often get to watch two different reactions to different things.
As the mayor of Nostalgia Goggles World, I've got to say that everyone needs to calm down because Ghostbusters 2 was just as bad, if not worse, than Ghostbusters Answer the Call. I don't like either of those films.
Have you watched Ghostbusters 2 recently?
I have.
How has it not been on the podcast?
It's definitely.
I
one
love
for the
that
podcast.
movie, man. I love that movie really hard, and we're gonna do it because like it'll be the opposite. Usually, I'll do stuff that makes you like question your childhood.
No. For that movie, it is the typical, much like Ross and Rachel in Friends, with the will they, won't they?
Yeah.
When they finally got together, the show had to continue on, and it was like, oh, now they have to break up, and then it's will they, won't they again. And that's kind of the whole Ghostbusters 1 with Sigourney Weaver and Bill Murray. It's like, will they, won't they? Yeah. Then the second one, it's like, it doesn't really matter anymore. Anyway, that's what I think.
Everyone will love this one because it is a follow-on. Apparently, everyone's on Dan Aykroyd's set.
And none of those yucky girls, which ruin everything.
No.
Girls can't.
Leslie Jones has come out and... as Leslie Jones does, she made it very, very apparent that she's not in favour of this movie.
It was not a cheap dig either, and I've got to say she handled herself quite well and even prefaced her comments with, yes, I'm saying something.
Yeah. The other two things I wanted to touch on is I don't watch The Crown, but I'm going to watch season 4 because Gillian Anderson, Dana Scully is playing Margaret Thatcher, and I want to see that.
What is The Crown? So far, it sounds terrible.
It's all about the British royalty. Like, I wouldn't care, but then it's Gillian Anderson in it. So, have you watched Sex Education on Netflix yet?
I haven't, no.
Watch Sex Education on Netflix.
Yeah,
that show's brilliant.
I don't need to learn anything. I know everything about everything.
I have heard you talk about erotica, and you do not.
I watch Species on the weekend. I know everything about sex.
I have never dreaded talking to you about a movie in a room with just the two of us than about talk about Species with
Guess
you.
what voice I'm going to talk about the entire film in? It's going to be this one, Paulie. Anyway, we might get into the music because tonight's all about Ticia Rose, not about Paul being creepy. This is 100.5 WOWFM. Don't forget, you can join in the conversation. Jump on our Facebook, Dave's Video Graveyard at WOWFM. Let us know what you think about the yucky girls that bust ghosts and a whole lot more here on WOWFM. It is Dave's Video Graveyard on WOWFM. Paul's just taking a massive bite of chocolate. So what better time is it to turn the microphones on? How you doing, Paulie? Paul's doing good. How's the chocolate is the main concern of our listeners.
It's a furry friend and it's amazing.
Oh, they're made with a little bit of magic. It's not just chocolate.
I don't usually sort of at the servo go like...
Not a sponsor of the show, by the way, everybody.
At the servo I don't usually go, oh, it's something on the counter, I'm going to buy that. But I was like, furry friends. 50 cents.
Nice.
Continue.
Okay. So you have picked 10 of your all-time favourite films.
Yes.
And the first one, if I told Paul, guess which Alec Baldwin film you absolutely loved, I don't think in a billion gazillion years this would come up. These words wouldn't come out of Paul's mouth. Named after the Def Leppard song and basically the musical of the same name. Tell us your choice.
One of my favourite movies ever is Rock of Ages.
Again, Google that word. No one has ever said that in the history of the world.
We're getting Google waxed tonight. That is for those that don't know, it's the Russell Brand vehicle. I love this movie. I really do. I have a soft spot for it.
Tom Cruise is such a hottie in it.
I have a not so soft spot for it as well because Catherine Zeta-Jones is a fantastic actress in this one, Paulie. I think you would enjoy it too. And if I haven't sold you on it yet, Tom Cruise. Two words, Tom and Cruise.
This is my backstory to this movie. So it
Other
comes
than
out.
the full back tattoo that you have of it?
Yeah, better than that, yeah. So it came out and it kind of bombed in the cinemas. So they thought, like, back in the time when they still thought maybe home entertainment maybe the DVD release can fix it. And we got like 15 copies in at work, the video store I worked at, and like it was pulling hen's teeth to make people get this. Like, I watched it and I tried to like go, it's got Tom Cruise in it. Like, he was in stuff, Mission Impossible. And like, it's got Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin's not a selling point for a movie either. I worked out, like, 'cause you can't just say, oh, it's got Alec Baldwin doing Alec Baldwin in it. Nah.
And that's like, I would love to see, like, as we've talked about before, a lot of movies try to do the damage control after its release where they say from the writer of or from the producer of to try and sell it a little bit more. But I just couldn't see this coming out and being from the writer of Zoolander 2. No, I have somewhat of it, much like yourself, a bit of a tragic love of the 80s and all thing rock and roll. So many great songs.
That's probably why it's lost on me, because like I can't stand the 80s. I'm a 90s guy, so like
Why
it's just...
did I even come on this show, dude?
So that you guys can be best. Basically, what's going to happen is you're going to have a really heated fight, at which point a 1990s judge sentences you guys to be partners and fight crime. And
or we go on to like the reality shows, like, yeah, spend a week with each other. And we've been watching lots of 80s movies for the podcast.
Amazing.
And it still doesn't make me like the 80s anymore. It makes me hate them more. But anyway, continue. Why do you like this movie?
Okay, so...
Sorry, why do you like this movie more than every other movie that Paul Giamatti plays a music manager?
Well, I mean, he's perfect for the part because he kind of just looks like a less moneyed Doc McGee.
Well, sweatier Doc McGee.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's sweatier than Doc. But yeah, so Cherie Christian, the lead character, basically lives my dream of traveling to the Sunset Strip. And, I mean, it's the Bourbon Room, but it's pretty much whiskey a go-go. And, like, just lives my dream of like, traveling there in hair metal heydays and meeting, like, Stacey Jacks, who, to me, I equate that to, like, Satchel of Steel Panther. And just being on stage with him and living her rock and roll dream, and it's full of songs I love, and even this stupidly botched crap version of Wanted Dead or Alive that Tom Cruise sings is just incredible. I love this movie so much.
I love it for what it is. And Catherine Zeta-Jones playing basically like the Tipper Gore character with the Mums Against Rock or whatever they're called.
Love that.
Absolutely love it. I can't even look at the poster of this without getting Sister Christian stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Because it is so good. I love the opening where basically she jumps off the bus and someone's like, oh, let me help you. Steals all her stuff.
Steals all her records.
It's pretty much an hour and a half music video, which I can totally see why you love this film.
Yeah.
It was somewhat of a financial failure at the box office.
Somewhat?
Yeah.
Somewhat.
It didn't do okay. But it's from the writer of Tropic Thunder.
I would like to know what transient Tom Cruise murdered on video that made him have to do this film.
Oh, are you telling me that they're not saying, hey, Tom, we've got a role that involves you having a six-pack and doing a lot of cardio. Do you think you'd be interested? And at that point, he turned the treadmill down to half speed and said, what? I didn't hear you.
It's not that Mission Impossible. And guess what? We got the presenter from E! Entertainment on there as an actress. That's going to be good.
Which one? Was it Jules Asner?
Yes, Jules Asner.
Because I'm also stuck in the 90s when it comes to my puberty. It features music from Styx, Journey, Bon Jovi, Pat Benatar, Twisted Sister, Steve Perry, Poison, Europe, and a whole lot more. And it is fun. It's kind of like it ticks all the boxes for me.
Ticks one box for me. Guess what that box is?
Is it
Not
shirtless
watching it?
Tom Cruise?
Yes.
Just
It's the coolest he's been.
Yeah, it
In a
is. Like the
movie.
back tattoos and the long hair and the. I have a little bit of a girl boner for him in this movie.
Do you think this is actual Tom Cruise and he has to like cover all that up for other movies?
I
He's
hope
like,
it
this
is.
This is how he's like around. Like he's just a rock god to the days. It's like, all right, I got to now Scientology it up to go to go and see my public.
I got to get off this spaceship and go film some more scenes. The film was made for a budget of $75 million, went on to make a whopping $59.4 million, so it was a massive loss. I didn't like the casting of the lead guy in it. Like, I didn't think he had...
He's a bit of a wet blanket, but he's still cool.
There was just no attitude to anything he did, whereas, like, she really could, like, gruff it up, and he was just boring.
If you had to pick a desert island one that you're going to watch for the rest of your life, this versus Rockstar with your mate Mark Wahlberg.
Rockstar, sorry.
See, okay, all right, I'm torn because Michael freaking Starr is in Rockstar, and he is the lead singer of my favorite band. But this is a better movie.
I think more importantly, Third Eye Blind are in Rockstar.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Doesn't do
They're
it
the
for me.
other
Oh,
band.
you know,
They're-
you've got, you know, yeah.
How's that for your 90s?
You didn't say Semi-Charm kind of live, bud.
Nice. We might get back into the music and continue through...
Third Eye Blind?
Yeah.
Third Eye Blind?
This is 100.5 WOW FM. 100.5 WOW FM, Dave's Video Graveyard. Now, we've just hit a new milestone, Paulie. Ticia has let us know that one of her family members has claimed that we're more exciting than the cricket. So,
I knew
hopefully...
we're good for something.
Well, being more exciting than the cricket, the next step from there is being more exciting than the backside of a television.
Yeah.
Like, or even maybe some wet paint.
We can do it.
That's
Surely.
it. Let's try. Well, it's all resting on your shoulders this evening because
Is it?
tonight is all about you.
Ooh.
Tell us your next choice of favourite films.
So, my next choice, again, is in the 80s. It's Back to the Future.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's just a small indie
I
film.
was going to say, is it art house? It doesn't sound like my kind of
It's kind
thing.
of got like a bit of a little cult following.
This is probably the only trilogy outside of a certain Spaceborne trilogy that I'll accept if someone says is a fantastic trilogy.
Two.
Yeah, like,
The third one.
yeah.
The third one is
Yeah,
balls.
it's okay. Hey, come on. People say that about another...
Have you watched the
picked-
third one recently?
Yes.
Have you watched the third one recently?
Yeah, the third one's never been my favourite. It's Back to the Future 1 and 2. And then
I have a
the third one,
wall-to-wall
I'm like,
love for the entire trilogy.
Ah, look at you.
Yeah.
I've never
Don't
been a
tease
fan
me.
of the Wild West, though.
You don't like getting wiki wild?
No.
We can't be friends in that case.
I mean, I rock the
'Cause
cowboy boots, but not the wiki
Speaking
wiki.
of art house films, have I got a western for you? So, 1985, this film was released. The other big release that year was Me, because I'm awesome.
yay.
Yeah.
Huge release, I heard.
Didn't make anywhere as much money as that did, and a lot of people are left with a sour taste in their mouth after the third time they meet me. So, not figuratively, come on. So,
Careful now.
why did you pick this film?
Yeah.
I just love it. Again, it's like that
All right,
whole...
moving right along.
I know. Any time it's on, even if it's on Go for the 960th time, I will sit there and I will watch it through all the adverts. And there's something about a dude getting in a DeLorean, going back in time, stop his mum from hooking up with him and try and get her to hook up with his dad that I'm just so into.
And this was a massive movie of my childhood, and it blew my mind to then grow up and see all the Easter eggs. Like, it's only been the last few years, I think, since this show started, that I realised, I was pointed out the Two Pines Mall.
Yeah.
The Twin Pines Mall, sorry.
Yeah.
And when he goes back in time the first time, he hits a pine tree.
Yeah.
Then when he comes back to the future, it's called the Lone Pine Mall.
Yeah.
Amazing. That
One
is
of the few
absolutely
time
amazing.
travel films actually sort of like goes, we should probably keep an eye on continuity and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So,
Also, the second film actually played a big role in the changing of film laws because obviously Crispin Glover demanded so much money to reprise his role. They replaced him with someone with prosthetics and look-alike, and because he didn't quite look right, they just hung him upside down, and apparently that made all things. And they actually had to change all the movie laws of portraying someone that wasn't allowed to be in the film.
Quite a darker one too. The second one, like I remember I used to get scared of that one when I was watching it with my sister.
Wow.
Well, it's the Trump timeline.
What?
It's the Trump timeline, that one.
Yeah. Like it's really dark. Like, it was this first one was not shattered for me, but like when you realise what Biff is trying to do to Marty's mum in the back of that car, he's like essentially he's just a rapist.
Oh,
and it's like, and everyone's like, it's fine. It's like,
there is the YouTube series that basically says like, are you going to hire someone that tries to attack you as your slave in later life? Like, basically to wax your car every day.
I read if you get a chance, the guy who portrays Biff though, nicest guy you could ever like. He still like goes to all the fan like the Comic Cons and lots of stuff and does a lot of that sort of stuff. So he loves the role. He
actually has a song that's like all the main like the frequently asked questions is the name of the song, and he plays a song that answers what Marty McFly was like. Like it's and he's like, right now we've got nothing to talk about because I've answered all these questions.
He popped up again in Freaks and Geeks. He was the gym teacher in that. Remember, like he just pops up every so often. It's like, oh, that's Biff. Yeah.
Do you know how many films Christopher Lloyd has portrayed Doc Emmett Brown in?
Well, 4? Is that a long shot?
It is. It's 4. He reprised the role in Million Ways to Die in the West.
That's very cool. There's like a little bit where it's set in the West, and then Seth MacFarlane goes into a barn. There's like lots of light coming out of it, and it's him with a DeLorean, and it's like, that's nice.
Because what are you doing? And he goes, weather experiment.
Yeah.
Okay, and leaves him. It's so good. Love all 3 of them. Do you remember the first time you saw it?
I don't remember the first time I saw it, but it's one of those few films that every time I see it is like the first time I've seen Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Like every time I'm like, I need a puffer vest now and a skateboard. It's so good.
They did have problems with, wasn't it with the hoverboards? They said like, oh yeah, they actually made the technology, then they had to go, nah, it's like you guys are idiots.
It's so funny. And I also love, like with the second one, that was the first time I'd seen in a film where they had reshot. I absolutely love in the second one where they have Marty in the leather jacket and hat.
Yeah.
And part 1 going on in the background.
Me too.
That blew my mind. I'd never seen anything like that. And I don't think it's been replicated as well.
Nah.
No, because it was so brilliant.
Fair enough.
Good choice, yeah. I haven't talked about it for a while, actually.
Beg your pardon?
I haven't talked about that one for a while. So
no, it's I guess because it's such an unknown film that no one knows. So yeah, if anyone out there is into art house, low budget films that basically... Oh, did you see Ready Player One?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well that's pretty much a love letter to the Back to the Future trilogy.
Is it?
You definitely should check that one out.
Well, that's happening when I get home.
All right, guys, we're getting back into the music. This is Dave's Video Graveyard. Don't forget, you can join in the conversation and let Paul know how good the 80s really is by jumping on Facebook. Dave's Video Graveyard.
What are we going to play now? Something from the 80s again?
Certainly am. Awesome. This is WOWFM. 100.5 WOW FM. It is Dave's Video Graveyard. Come on, guys, be professional. Don't laugh when the mics are on. So, while that song was playing, Paul, what part of Chris Cornell's voice were you imagining? Was it the gruff or the high goatee bit? Or how were you coping?
Prayed that it would end, and then, like most Van Halen things, it didn't. It went on for another 4 minutes.
4 minutes is a short song from that era, dude.
Not for me.
How much of your fight training from Rest Rampage days do you remember? Because it's probably time you and Paul had it out here, right now.
You know, maybe I'd just do more like a rock and roll bar fight rather than a Rampage fight.
Sweet.
You know, you've disrespected Van Halen, dude. And the original lineup, not Van Hagar, because Van Hagar can...
Hey, you choose your words.
Van Hagar can go up the creek.
No.
Yes.
You've crossed another line. Because Why Can't This Be Love
is the worst song in existence.
Their most commercially successful song.
It's worse than Jump, and I hate Jump.
Jump is the worst song that they have.
Nah, because you've still got...
Have you heard the southern side of Van Halen, Dave Lee Roth's country album where he just did all the... It is...
Yes.
Jamie's Crying on that is possibly the worst song ever.
No, because it's David. And I'm again so far into David Lee Roth that he could kick me in the teeth and I'd be like, thank you, sir.
Now, I'm going to change the next thing we talk about because I've thought of the best way to segue it Current Dave Lee Roth looks 100% like Coach Calhoun from Greece. Tell me I'm wrong, and I'll let it go.
Few more
but
tattoos.
we might talk about that film now. Tell us why you picked Grease.
I don't know. I like my
and
mum.
not Grease too.
Shout out to my mum. She loves Grease and always has. And so have I. Like, I've always, like, known life with Grease, and I just love it. And I've always kind of wanted to be Rizzo. I was never sort of like, oh, I want to be Sandra Dee. I was like, no, Rizzo is a badass. Like, I want to be like her.
I wanted to be Putz.
Nice choice.
Yeah. Who do you want to be, Paul?
I hate this conversation, the one before it.
Oh, my God.
Which one of the Sex and the City girls
I want to be the
Paul?
person that walked out the cinema and they started singing.
I'm more of a Michael Kerrigan from Grease 2.
Wow.
I loved
can't
Grease
stand
one-
Grease 2.
I loved Grease 1 so much that I wore out the tape it was taped on when I was a kid.
I love that.
Then we retaped Grease 2 and I loved that for a while. And then, I realised that they gave
This
up
has
trying.
jogged my memory. So I was at work on Sunday, and I work for a place that sells DVDs and CDs. And someone rang me up and they say, hey, do you have the Grease 2 soundtrack? And I was like, Dave's punking me. Because, like, who else would actually... And I actually thought, like, you were just messing around with me. So I was like, okay, yeah, I was just seeing. And he was like, yeah. I'm
You're like, I'll just type that into my invisible typewriter.
and I was like, oh, yeah, we can get it in. And he's like, oh, cool, yeah, I might come down. I was like, what was your name? And he gave me a completely different name. I was like, oh, you're actually serious? Okay. I'll get it in for you.
Wow, how
So you
very
had just
deep.
the second person in the world that actually wants Grease 2.
Who doesn't want Catwoman on top of a stepladder singing about a cool motorbike rider, Paul? Who doesn't?
Let it collapse.
Oh, that would have been nice.
It is fantastic. It is one of the greatest films to ever be called Grease 2.
I'll
in my
only ever
opinion.
watch it if you pick it for the...
Right, well, guess I'll pick my next...
After our Dark Knight Rises.
What else? You said you had some shout-outs to do.
I do. I have some shout outs. First one to my best friend in the whole entire world who's listening in Sydney. Hi, Joy. I love you.
Sorry? What's her name?
Well, some of those-
Joy.
Okay, cool.
She's like my best friend. She's my life partner, and I love her with all
So
my
any
heart.
other friends that
Some
have
of-
listening Ticia?
Yeah.
Some of those were words.
Yeah, she'll get it. Monty, my work daughter. Hi, mummy loves you. And obviously, all of the Rose fam. What's up, guys? Thank you for all the support. Mum, Dad, ignore the cricket. I'm on air. And anyone who's listening all around the world, thank you so much for the love and support.
And spoiler alert also to your dad, letting him know that cricket is cricket. So just in case he didn't know.
I'm here.
He gets up, he's like, what the hell am I doing in my life?
I've made a massive mistake.
Oh, but it's 2020. It's still the same.
Yeah, it's still cricket. The next film we will talk about is somewhat of an
Don't use.
absolute classic. No,
Don't use.
not quite yet. It's time to go into the Christmas realm.
You read it?
Oh, did he really? Yeah. Yeah, right. Because he was a big part of National Lampoon's
Yes,
from
he
the beginning.
was.
Tell us what film you've picked.
I have picked, this is probably my third favourite film of all time, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Holiday
Iconic.
World. Yes. I think you said off air, like, you can watch it any time of the year. It's
Yep.
amazing. As much as I can't stand Chevy Chase now, did you see there's a new Netflix movie about with Richard Dreyfuss
Richard
and Chevy
Dreyfuss
Chase?
and Chevy Chase.
Could you
You know
think
what?
of two more unlikable people to put in a
I was
movie?
going to say, I don't know about their choice of name for the film because I would personally have called it unwatchable. Because you put Kelsey Grammer in there, and I'm cancelling my
How
Netflix.
very dare you.
I'm cancelling Netflix.
It did, like, I was always annoyed because, like, I really like Vacation too, and I was wondering why they replaced Audrey and Rusty. Then I was like, it's like 6 years in between those two movies being made. I was just like, okay, nah. And I'm glad we got Juliette Lewis out of it. So, and is it Galecki?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know until maybe last year that Brian Doyle Murray was Bill Murray's brother, like the boss from the end with the checks.
My lord.
There you go. You clearly, by your facial expression, didn't know that either.
Tisha just learned something.
It's
Really?
It is an absolute. I didn't know. I did not
Last
know.
name Murray
Noah
kind
fr-
of looks like him.
Noah from
Yeah,
Noah's
but
Arcade
Murray's a
is Bill
normal
Murray's
name.
brother. It could have been Andy Murray's brother for people that are fans of whatever sport he plays. I couldn't even finish that. And
Tennis?
yeah, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, one of the best movies. I even give a shout out to the Quaid. Don't give out many shout-outs to Randy Quaid, but this is in his prime.
Just-
Playing Cousin Eddie.
Just looking at
Yes,
some of the
Cousin Eddie.
information, I've just learned that in 2003, there was a made-for-television sequel called National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation 2, Cousin Eddie's Island Adventure.
Yep.
And if that didn't sell itself, I don't know what would. Wow. I've seen the one where they're in Vegas, but it's a different family.
Yeah, but it's still Clark.
And
Still
then
Chevy Chase,
Ed
yeah.
Helms played Rusty a couple years ago with the Chris
Yeah,
Hemsworth
yeah.
one. Because Chris Hemsworth likes ruining all of the franchises we loved in the 80s.
Yeah, the bit between him and Cousin Eddie where he's like, can I get you anything? Drive you out to the woods. Like, it was more like one of those. Chevy Chase is like, as much as I don't like him, his delivery of lines is just amazing.
Incredible.
All the vacation films they're a product of their time in the sense that, remember when like family films still had the dark elements that were totally not for kids? Like,
Yeah, it was better than Angela.
it always used to stick out in my head. I believe it was just Vacation,
Yeah.
where they tied the dog to the tow ball.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that would not be in a family film. And the fact that Clark is an absolute pervert at any given chance. He basically has a breakdown at the end of this film.
The Tylenol bit.
This whole film is fantastic.
I love it so much. Shout out to my stepdad for introducing me to this. What's up, Shane?
I always found him, like, in this one especially, like, there's heaps of correlations between him and Basil Fawlty.
Right.
Like, I find that...
yeah.
Because, like, Basil Fawlty's kind of a perv as well. Like,
It's
he
that-
sort of masks a bit more, like, I'm just like, I didn't mean to be doing that.
But it's also that inept to the point of being so stubborn about not being it that it's... Yeah,
and
it's
that
very...
sort of controlled, like, anger that he does, and then, like, they do have it. You know it's an outburst is coming. So, yeah, like, I always found those two quite similar.
Every time I read Chevy Chase's name, I can't help but... I remember watching a, like, behind the comedy series thing back in the, like, mid-90s on VH1. And there was actually a fist fight on the set of Saturday Night Live between Bill Murray and Chevy Chase. And when they got pulled apart, Bill Murray famously said, "You're nothing but a medium talent." And I've never heard him summed up more perfectly. Because to me, I never enjoyed Fletch. I didn't love all of the other Chevy Chase films that much. Talking to the wrong person right now, I can tell. I recently I think I saw it when I was younger, but I recently visited Nothing But Trouble. Loved it. It is so weird.
Saves that film, I think.
It is such a weird film. Okay, we might get back into the music. Here we have some Alice in Chains featuring Eddie Vedder.
There's just nothing on this list that I would say yes.
Because Eddie Vedder is terrible.
All right, Paul, here's a song from 1991. This is DVG. It is Dave's Video Graveyard 100.5 WOW FM. Paul's favourite band, Steel Panther there. Eyes of the Panther, featuring
just
Corey Taylor.
Such insightful lyrics and just really hit you in the feels there.
Should we introduce him to Community Property?
Yes, definitely. Can I straighten your hair, Paulie?
What?
Let me straighten your hair.
I don't know what you're talking about. Can we talk about movies, please?
We certainly can. And continuing with the theme of very little known films that are somewhat financially unsuccessful, we're going to talk about the third in the trilogy, that is Return of the Jedi. Tell us all about it.
Okay, so it sounds ridiculous because of my age, but my childhood memories of Star Wars is sitting in my dad's bedroom, shout out to Festa, watching Return of the Jedi on tape. That's my childhood memory of Star Wars. And then playing with it was dad's, but it's my Luke Skywalker lightsaber.
Who's Luke Skywalker?
Luke Skywalker.
Never heard of him.
He walks on the slide. He wears his dark coat everywhere.
You seem a bit dodgy, Mr. Skywalker.
But yeah, like that's one of my like childhood memories is watching Return of the Jedi, which is weird because like Phantom Menace and all that were coming out when I was a kid. But this is my Star Wars.
Well, I was absolutely obsessed with the Star Wars trilogy, and as much as an adult, Empire Strikes Back is my absolute favourite. Return of the Jedi was my undying favourite because Luke was wearing black and looked awesome, got the green lightsaber, and pretty much up until he returns to Dagobah is the most exciting film ever, but then it gets a bit... What do you think, Paul?
Yeah, not my favourite, but like Empire's always going to be the best Star Wars film ever. But like, yeah, I love this one. I love the entire trilogy. Really liked when the Blu-ray came out. Did you ever see the extended bit at the start? So it shows you how the rebels actually get onto the Tatooine. That was actually really cool. Like I was love the other extra stuff they put on the Blu-rays. I'm like,
Of all
that was pretty cool.
of the trilogy and the special editions, I think Jedi got off lightest, and the changes actually did make enhancements. Whereas with the other two, it's just like George Lucas is like, oh, actually no, the windows in Cloud City, I think were a great improvement.
Yes,
as well as just all the creatures and stuff in the background.
I like
of Jeddah.
the inclusion of all the extra stuff at the end, like all the different systems, like Solo rating and stuff. I think Solo should have died in this one.
The victory song. The victory song on Endor in this one with the Ewoks, like the special edition.
Yeah.
Best song in the entire trilogy.
It sinks in so well. Like it actually is like it's very sort of, this is it, we're done, and they weren't.
Now, because obviously, given your age, you didn't get to be a grumpy old man like everyone else did with The Last Jedi. Did you form an opinion of that film?
It's Star Wars, and the fact that I can still get Star Wars is special to me.
Yeah.
And I think that explains my opinion on Solo as well.
Yeah, right. I don't have...
You know.
Paul has growing issues with Solo because he keeps rewatching it,
Just
which
stop,
isn't the
dude.
point.
Keep rewatching
just watch
it.
Just watch it once, Paul, and you'll enjoy it as much as I did. So
Dude,
basically...
the bit where they say Solo... Like, that bit just really, like, every time, it's like a punch in the face.
We've started talking about this thing on the show and on the podcast when it comes to George Lucas. He kind of doesn't... There's no subtlety anymore with the way he does things. And I know, obviously, Ron Howard is one of his biggest students. And the thing with Solo that I found was, like, they were like, here's how Han Solo learned to shoot first. Here's how he did this.
It had the stink of Lucas on it.
And then the one thing I was waiting for was like, here's why he has dots down the side of his pants.
Over-explaining.
Yeah, you can't get through this gate.
Like, he
if you
should be in
don't
the
have
corner of the
dots
film just,
down.
like, winking at the audience, like, ah.
It's like in The Office.
Yeah.
Oh, how good would a self-aware Han Solo film be? Where
He is David Brennan.
Harrison doing it.
As long as they don't give Chris Pratt the reins of a Han Solo character. Actually, whoever played it in Solo was great. I forgot pretty quickly that it wasn't.
Yeah. He had the attitude and the swagger.
I love the end bit of this, like, with the Emperor and Darth Vader and Luke. That entire bit where they sort of keep cutting back from Endor to that. It's kind of dark for a kid because, like, you know, it's really well played out. When you watch it again as an adult, you're like, oh, it's just so good. Like, it's just really, really well played. Now,
the next film you picked was episode 3.7, technically, I guess, and it is from 2016. Tell us about it.
This is actually my favourite Star Wars movie.
Yeah, right.
This is Star Wars Rogue One. I saw it in the cinema. I was on a cruise vacation, about to go on one of those with my family, and Rogue One came out, and I was like, well, I'm going to the cinema.
Is a cruise vacation where you dress up as Tom Cruise and just sit at home
much.
on the lounge? Because if so, I've had many of those.
Look.
Dabble in Scientology if I'm
But it's not even risky business attire.
No.
I dress up like the Edge of Tomorrow in a mech suit just on my lounge.
You know the funny thing about that? Every time it's on the freaking telly, my stepdad will watch Edge of Tomorrow, and we take the piss out of him because it's like he's in the movie.
It is a great film.
It is good.
I love that film more than anything he's done since
Rock of Ages.
Ever? I'll have to say since The Outsiders, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Because I'm the guy that hates Top Gun.
Yeah.
And much like my disenjoyment of the band AC/DC, I'm always having to justify it to people, and I don't think I should.
That feels strange because Top Gun to me is the cinematic equivalent of heavy metal. Just like no substance and just like looks just, you know, muscles out and just...
What part of Paul's face do you want to punch from those statements?
Look...
Van Halen.
He's just,
Val Kilmer's the Van Halen.
We've already had a Van Halen discussion.
Van Kilmer.
Oh, God. I don't know.
Come at me, metalheads. You
We
won't.
will. We wear spikes.
Yeah, you're still in your mother's basements.
No, because we're too nice.
I've never seen you so punk as you are this evening.
You're full edgy. Look out.
Yeah.
Someone's going to do a Kurt Cobain soon.
Because you had the whole the post-punk Bruce Springsteen fan type vibe going on for a long time.
Yeah.
but tonight I've seen the
My
Elitist.
ire is raised.
I have seen the Elitist come out this evening.
But not about this movie. Rogue One is an excellent film. I remember when I saw it in the cinemas, my wife said that I was looking at... You can't see it on radio, but I was basically looking up in pure enjoyment the entire time. When the last set piece of this movie is when they go onto the desert island planet, I'll call it, and you've got the ATT, like at walkers and the stormtroopers, like, is every sort of thing that you did in your bedroom, like setting up toys when you were a kid, and it's like, oh man, it's not on Hoth today, we're going to go to a desert island. I'm like, he did it on film, it's amazing.
And
so
also on the edge of the knee-deep water, that battle is just such an awesome set piece, because you're like, this is exactly what I want action figures to do.
Love the blind quasi-Jedi, like that entire bit that's on the, the other system looks like Tatooine, but it's not Tatooine. Yeah.
Revisiting this, one issue that I do have, I think this film deserves a crawl at the start, or even John Williams' music, because it does lack a little bit in that sense.
See, I actually like this film and appreciate it more because it's not about the Jedi and it's not about Star Wars and the Skywalkers. Like, this is like a darker, deeper, like an adult Star Wars. So, like, I like that it doesn't have a crawl. Because even though I love the crawl because it's friggin' Star Wars-y, it's like, nah, here you go.
I would love all the Star Wars elitists that I know to give me a review of this film, but not be privy to the final scenes. Like, I would love if they pretended the film ended and be like, okay, give me your response. And then do the control group and be like, well, here's the Darth Vader hallway scene.
Oh, I lose my mind every time I watch that.
I still occasionally, that will come up as a suggested video on YouTube when I'm like, yes, you're right, I do. I'm looking like, how to open a corkscrew, because I'm very handy.
Nice.
So I'll be on YouTube, how to open a corkscrew thing. And that'll be like, did you mean this scene from Rogue One? I'm like, yes. Yeah, sure.
I think that's my sister Chloe's favourite moment in movie history, is just watching Darth Vader just destroy. It's so exhilarating. Like, I want to go and destroy everyone with a lightsaber after I see it.
But unlike George Lucas, like, it does set up, and not in a, like, wink at the audience type way. Like, you want to know why in New Hope everyone's scared of Darth Vader, because throughout that the original trilogy, he's bad, but he's not that bad. Like, he doesn't do he chokes a captain on the ship, and he, like, maybe does a few other things, but, like, he's not got the reputation that he, like, and then find out why, and it's because he can kill people within. I mean,
he killed a bunch of kids technically too.
Well,
yeah, but that was
even the younglings. Best scene in that movie.
I just like that didn't further anything to do with the plan at all.
No.
Order 66 is like, yeah, they haven't been taught yet, so
just kill them all.
That's it.
I would like to see, like, one kid just, like, hold out and just... Well, there was that one kid that...
Yeah, there was the one that stayed alive, but then you see the footage.
3 for a while. I like episode 3.
Episode 3 is solid.
I have memories of actually really getting into the Slaughter of the Sand People.
Episode 2, because he freaks out, and then it's after he freaks Padme out.
That's when he hates sand getting in everything.
Yeah. And then he,
unlike you, Padme,
but you know
you're
what?
soft.
I totally relate when sometimes I take food to the beach, and when you get a little bit of sand, you're like, it's still okay.
So you get
and
a
then
bit
you get the crunchy. Then I'm like, yeah,
so
you're right,
Anakin. And you're like, I killed him, and the women and the children.
That's why I'm not allowed at the beach anymore. Because I don't have a lightsaber, I just flick a wet towel at all the kids.
Can your husband stop quoting Anakin?
Yeah, did you win your wife over by carving up a pear?
No, it was by quoting a Jake Lloyd film that wasn't Phantom Menace. It was actually Jingle All the Way.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. I can't look at that kid right anymore after all that.
I saw an interview with him online within the last couple of years, and he is troubled, to put it lightly, because of the way the fans treated him.
Oh, yeah.
I will say that, but I also say that you shouldn't run off and go, yippee! Because no one says yippee like that.
And you don't say this is pod racing either.
I think this is
pod racing.
Like Sparta.
The script
Gerard Butler could totally pull off a young Anakin.
The script supervisor came up to me and was like, so then you're going to run off and you're going to say, no, something like yippee, but something better, And he's like, yeah, cool. Yippee!
It's like they went,
cut.
The Jawas when they're like, Kitty!
Yeah.
Do that. Oh, what was... much like, have you seen the movie Fanboys?
Yes.
The bit where Seth Rogen has the fullback tattoo of Jar Jar Binks. And you're like, I haven't seen the film yet, but you know he's going to be amazing. That was me with Forrest Whitaker's character in Rogue One. I'm like, oh, you know he is going to do something big and meaningful in this. And then it's like, and if by that you meant die uneventfully, spoiler alert, then... No.
He gets resurrected in Star Wars Rebels, the animated series.
Doesn't count.
Yes, you need to watch Rebels, everybody.
Yes.
I did watch...
Rebels is amazing.
I did watch the episode
Clone Wars,
of Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's so good.
That's
and then,
the coolest thing I've ever
I don't
seen.
want to spoil it for everyone, but like, if you watch Clone Wars, Ahsoka is also in Rebels, so please watch Rebels.
Yeah. That actually was going to tie into the next film. But they're not doing them anymore.
I know.
Disney and that definitely need us to promote on this radio station for them because...
Dude, I'm permanently promoting Star Wars on my
Nice.
And that's one the big thing about how... because there's going to be a Disney streaming site called Disney Plus, and they're not going to do any made for... Apart from the Mandalorian, the Bounty Hunter story, they're not going to do any other Star Wars stories, and they should. They should just chuck 20, 30 million at like an indie director and say, make an indie Star Wars.
Printing money.
And it's like, you know, what would be like, people would tune in.
I want like a really dark, like a Rogue One version of like a Wicket story.
They should do Knights of the Old Republic as a show.
I want even newer stories. I'd like the Knights of Ren in like their own timeline. But the thing that I found with Rogue One, same with Solo, it doesn't feel like any fan backlash matters.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Even though it's canon, it doesn't feel like all these dudes getting butthurt on the internet matter to the film. Like, because Rogue One had its problems and everyone had a whinge, and I'm like, no, you can't take away from what it is.
Pretty sure Rogue One I ended up seeing 9 times in the cinema.
Right.
I genuinely love this film.
You had the 2 guys from the Cantina from A New Hope in this in a small role. That was fantastic.
Every time I see something like that, there's like the Robot Chicken and the Family Guy Star Wars have kind of ruined it for me. So any like offshoots, I'm just like, I just start thinking of stuff from them. Like, there's some really good.
I would love Shadows of the Empire film.
Yeah,
sitting right between Empire and Return of the Jedi.
That would be good.
Yes, I've read the book and not just know everything from reading the booklet of the Nintendo 64 game because I read.
You do read.
Yeah,
you do read good.
It's got the word book.
Hey. That's it.
Like, you just read anything on these bands here and you can just imagine they're all going to sound the same. So
no.
Oh, well, here
the
is...
Pistols.
Oh, God.
Here's an unknown punk band for you, Paul.
Yeah.
Just to keep you happy.
The worst punk band.
Are you joking?
Oh, I hate the Sex Pistols so bad.
Dude.
The Sex Pistols are the worst. Like, I know that they were there at the beginning, blah, 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 blah. The Clash were like the more superior band.
The Clash are not punk because they're not like John Rotten and the way he grew up. Read Johnny Rotten's
book. The way he grew up.
Oh,
yeah, like I believe what he actually wrote in that book.
He had meningitis for 7 years and didn't remember his parents.
Come on, guys. Stop fighting. Here's something we can all enjoy. Here's Motley Crue with Anarchy in the UK.
God!
It is Dave's Video Graveyard on 100.5 WOW FM. Bringing peace to the troops here in the studio.
If you could make the worst music cocktail in the world, and you're like, oh, to a dash of Sex Pistols, then put a bunch of Motley Crue in and mix them together, and that's what you get. And Jamie says the Sex Pistols are the One Direction of punk, which I think is amazing. I didn't say that.
Paul, if you look at you, if I can direct you to the screen right now.
No.
This is your official...
I saw one.
This is
I
your
know
official
what that...
warning. Look how many scrolls it is. Look at all that Limp Bizkit. So let's just draw it in, or we'll have to bring it out.
I mean, the guest likes Limp Bizkit.
I'm married. I'm married. Okay, ease up. So your next film, believe it or not, is from the 80s. It's from 1985. Much like myself. We're talking about St. Elmo's Fire. Tell us all about it. Directed by the guy that made Vampires awesome and Batman terrible. Tell us about it.
So I love this film. When I was in high school, I was getting into all John Hughes sort of films and like similar sort of era films. And I got told by Jag at Wrestle Rampage, I have to watch St. Elmo's Fire. And the minute it started, something just clicked. It was like, yeah, I get it. And when she has the whole breakdown and locks herself in the freezing cold apartment and gorgeous Rob Lowe has to go rescue her, it's like
problematic Rob Lowe is how I prefer to describe it.
Gorgeous Rob Lowe. Yeah, it's just like one of those films that I'm like, I can recognize myself in all the characters, and I just love it. And it's the era I wish I was in, so I adore that film.
Emilio Estevez used to be able to act really well.
Yeah,
he just?
He really did.
And then he has a bit of a lull. He's come back now. He's doing more dramatic stuff now, but yeah.
So the Brat Pack, which was basically the stars of St. Elmo's Fire, being Emilio Estevez, Anthony Michael Hall, Rob Lowe, Andrew McCarthy, Demi Moore, Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, and Ali Sheedy. Molly Ringwald has fantastic colour hair.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Moving right along. Thanks, Paul. Tell me I'm pretty. Why did you pick this film?
It's just one of those movies that I just love. And I think when I discovered, and it's making sense when I'm thinking about it, a lot of these movies, I was sort of going through high school and if you couldn't tell, I was just the misfit kid who wanted to play heavy metal and be a pro wrestler. So I didn't have many high school friends. So I found these movies and these were like my friends and people I could actually relate to and be like, oh, hang on, she's going through this and I get those feelings sometimes too. So St. Elmo's Fire, I can sort of pick apart the characters and be like, yeah, I get that. I know why you're doing this. I know why you're like this because I do stuff like that.
Did you ever consider buying a shirt that had flames on it?
Me and my best friend love Guy Fieri, but no.
I can tell you from experience of this guy that I know that nothing was cooler than having a blade scooter and a shirt with flames on it and listening to Limp Bizkit.
No, I was blasting Metallica and the Pistols as loud as I could till my teacher would kick me out of class wearing 14-hole Doc Marten boots, a tie, a padlock around my neck with bright red hair as high as I could get it.
Hey, look. You got bright red hair too.
I got bright red hair and a padlock.
Did you wear that? Did you do the scooter and the fire shirt, and then one day you like bumped into like a chubby cook, and that guy turned out to be Guy Fieri?
Is he your real
I like
dad?
your look, kid. I'm going to try it myself.
Well, I must say I'm a massive fan of professional wrestling. I love the aesthetic of it, and also a massive fan of Guy Fieri.
He basically is a pro wrestler but a chef, let's be honest here.
About 8 months ago, I decided to do some bleach highlights in my beard, at which point it turns out that bleaching my beard turned it the exact same colour as my skin. And so to look in the mirror, it just looked like I had weird bald patches everywhere. And I then had to dye my beard black. So, yeah, good times.
Blackbeard.
That's it. It's all about being awesome, which I should have worn my flame shirt, guys. I feel a bit naked now. It's not just because I'm not wearing pants.
Segue to our podcast too. St. Elmo's Fire was also had the female lead of Turner and Hooch, Mare Whittingham, and that's our episode coming out this week.
Yeah, it is. A little bit late, but
you know,
it's better late than I don't know. It's not a very good movie.
Moving on.
So sticking with the Molly Ringwald theme, and Emilio Estevez, basically it's a Rat Pack
Jude
film.
Nelson.
It is another Brat Pack film. Tell us the next choice that you've picked.
So, the next choice I've picked is The Breakfast Club, my second favourite movie ever.
Yeah, right.
I have tattooed on my foot, Sincerely Yours, The Breakfast Club.
Nice.
That's how much I love this film.
This film made $50 million in 1985. That is insane money. And it was made for $1 million.
On VHS in 1990.
It was made for $1 million, which is pretty much you probably go, can I borrow your school for the weekend? And there's your set piece. This is an iconic film, if ever there was one. It was pretty much the archetype of the archetypes, where it's like, here's all these groups coming together and bonding over a day. Do you think that anyone in this film, like the characters, do you think they ever talk to each other ever again after the events of this film? The reason I ask is I've had days where you meet someone totally outside of your circle and then you get back into your own circle and you're like, I never see that person ever again.
I think John and Ali would, and Brian would have definitely said hello to everyone. Because he's just
so you're
this
saying
soft
I'm a
little
snob?
gem.
Is that what you're saying?
Andy's a snob. and Claire. But yeah, I think the 3 more outcast ones definitely would have said hello to each other passing in the hallways. That's what I like to think. I don't want to ruin the illusion that I've created in my head.
Do you really want to go to like what happened to these characters? This is going to be a very rocky road.
Which character who are you in this film, Paul?
You know, it's one of those things that you want to be Bender, but you're Anthony Michael. And I can imagine me just being, you're so conceited.
I'm the vice principal.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I like to think I'm the janitor.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Because he's cool with everyone and he's kind of like a Yoda.
Well, Andrew went on and changed his name and moved to the Midwest and became the coach of a small hockey team.
Yes, he did.
Had a bit of a drink driving misdemeanor.
Nothing small about that.
Bender, well, he went on to have some success. He was with Brendan Fraser in a film, and then he just went off the map completely.
Yeah.
Claire. Oh, Claire. Didn't do too well after the 90s. Sorry, Molly Ringwald. She was in Australia.
Last thing I saw... No. Oh, she was in that Aussie movie Cut with Dylan Lewis and Kylie Minogue. Oh. We have to revisit that, but I'm not going to say it's a podcast episode because it's probably terrible still.
Did I tell you that I revisited 16 Candles recently? Have you seen that for a while?
Yes.
It's a very problematic movie these
It
days.
is. You got to watch it in the mindset of it's still that year. Because like,
through 2018 eyes when I watched it, I'm like...
I can't. See, I don't have 2018 eyes when it comes to life or 2019 eyes, so I'm like, yeah.
Oh, sexy girlfriend. Anyway.
Well, I cannot watch any coming-of-age films ever again after falling in love with the greatest one being Not Another Teen Movie. Because after that, much like you said with Family Guy's satire of Star Wars, once you go down that path, there's no coming back, and that's what it was like for me with these films.
Yeah. Maybe I think at times everyone's a bit of Ali Sheedy in this film too. Just want to sit in a corner and...
I'm her and Bender.
Spray your dandruff all over a piece of paper. That's the thing that always stuck out. Because I was very much, when I was growing up, I came into the movies halfway through when my sister was watching them, so I was like, I never really got the full extent of the film. I was like, that's just it. So then when I actually watched the full thing, I'm like, that's why she's doing it. She's a bit of a freak. That's cool. Yeah, good choice.
I'm pretty sure at some point we watched this film at school.
Yeah, like, that's where I first watched it, was in my health class.
This is one
of
the...
health class?
Yes.
This was back in the days of the VCR tied to the TV, tied to the wheelie trolley.
Yeah, we had a wheelie trolley. I didn't go to a great school.
Sweet. What are you saying? What are you saying about the fine institution that I went to?
When you went to school, that was modern technology. When I went to school, not so much.
Oh, right. I see.
And all you boys and girls up there that like to think that you're getting a sneak of what Molly's got underneath the dress, it was a stand-in. It's not Molly. So, sorry to dash your hopes, everyone.
Why are you ruining this for every man?
Because I like doing that sort of stuff. Love it. Now, Kevin Smith was doing a panel on Breakfast Club, and he brought it up, and Molly Ringwald didn't like the fact that he brought it up in the first place, said that it wasn't me. So, yeah. On the subject of Kevin Smith, I watched his new special, the one that he actually had a heart attack right after getting on stage.
There was this bit between two shows.
It was so weird, because you're watching it with the back in your mind, because he presents it and goes, this is the one, and like 5 minutes after I finished off, this is when I had my heart attack. So during the thing, you're like, it's funny, it's a really good stand-up set, but you're trying to sort of look for little cues. And like, there's nothing there that makes you think that he's like gonna have like this huge thing that happened to him like in about half an hour's time. So it was a very surreal thing to watch. You don't see it very often where you're like, something happened after you see what's on the screen. So if you get a chance to see it, the new Kevin Smith stand-up is very, very good.
Nice. Back into the music. Don't forget, you can let us know how we're going. Jump on Facebook, Dave's Video Graveyard at WOWFM, and send some love Ticia's way as she picks her 10 favourite films of all time and upsets Paul with her sensibilities of music. This is DVG. 100.5 WOWFM, Dave's Video Graveyard.
So, catch it. What has she got? She got looks to kill?
She's got looks that kill.
I didn't hear that. It didn't repeat itself 40 times. Anyway, You work for Wrestle Rampage.
I do.
And
work
we want
for
some
Wrestle
info. The
Rampage.
people want info. Give them the info.
The people want the info. So, avid wrestling fans or people who just want to have a good night out and don't really care what other people think about their choice of good night out, come down.
You've really set the bar high. Let's start again as if you want people to go. All right, let's go again.
I do, but people can still get funny about wrestling, but who cares? It's a fun night. So, this is me trying again on my promo. Wrestle Rampage Never Surrender, our first show of 2019. So, on our last show, we had the championship title change hands. So, our current champion, AJ Istria, will be taking on Robbie Eagles, Sniper of the Skies, one of the most incredible wrestlers I've ever seen. And we also have Tommy Knight taking on the King of Monsters, Jonah Rock, in his last ever match in Australia. So if you're not there, then you're an idiot. Just come to our show, because you will miss out on seeing the greatest wrestler this country ever produced wrestling in his hometown for the last time.
Now, I've got to put this out there that in 2017, our good friend J-Rock had not been signed to the WWE. 2018, he came on Dave's Video Graveyard and he was signed to the WWE. Now, if you do the maths, I'm not saying it's directly correlated, but it totally is. So if you're a wrestler and you want to get signed to the big leagues, we're the stepping stone. It's all thanks to us. Nothing to do with Jonah's hard work at all. This is all a written statement Paul prepared earlier. So if Jonah, if you're listening, Paul wants to fight you. For real.
I don't know what you complain about. We made you. We will destroy you.
That's it. Hey.
Ooh. Hang on.
I don't know who Jonah is he big?
We're going to have to set up a second main event. It's going to have to be Jonah's, second to last match.
You don't want to go out on a squash match, so you don't want to go out losing a squash match. So.
I'll play squash against Jonah.
No.
Meet you down the rec centre, bud.
Yes, please.
Come on.
That would be good. I'd like to book you for a squash match and then play racquetball.
We'll set it
great.
up in the ring, with a clear cage.
And just, that would be great. That would upset everybody involved. That would be
Except
great.
us.
My squash skills are not to be trifled with, Jonah.
I'm more of a racquetball kind of guy because I'm fat.
We know who you are.
I got bad knees. Squash isn't for bad knees. Okay, speaking of stuff, what else is happening with Wrestle Rampage?
Well, that's our next show. That's what we've got happening at the moment. So
That's coming up on the weekend,
not this weekend.
isn't it?
It's the weekend
the
after.
3rd. Is
So
that
it's
right?
coming up on the 2nd of February.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
2nd.
you were close. So 2nd of Feb, tickets are available at WrestleRampage.com. I will be there. So if you see me, make sure you hang around after the show and say hello.
Oh, you're going to be there. Oh,
Of course.
I'm busy that night. Then.
That's okay. You're not invited.
Washing your denim.
I can't wash it because the glue
I was
falls
going to
off.
say, yeah, you can't wash these sort of jackets. They're kind of gross.
I'm in the
kinda.
room with you. I know.
You guys need to have a fight about music again. That was the highlight of the evening.
We've come to sort of an agreement that one of us is right.
Have we got any movies left?
Yeah, of course we do. But before that,
Usually we're
going to go to a song leading us in to the next choice. It is Dave's Video Graveyard. In case you couldn't guess, tell us, Ticia, your next choice.
So my next choice is my all-time favorite movie, a movie that genuinely changed my life forever and sent me down the path of rock and roll, and that is The Runaways.
It also shows your age as well when you're like a really formative movie for me from 2010.
I know.
Yes,
I
back
was
in the
13.
day.
I was 13 and I was at my Auntie Sam's house. Shout out to Auntie Sam and my cousin Jamie, who's listening in Melbourne. And we watched this movie and I saw 5 teenage girls stick their fingers up in the air to the rock and roll scene in the 70s and say, I want to be where the boys are. And that was it. That changed my life. And it was like, you know what? If these girls can do it, I can be WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I can play in a heavy metal band. I can eventually be the voice on a male-run radio station.
I can't go and see Face Off because I'm a newborn baby.
That's okay.
No, I'm quite upset for you because 1997 was a magical year of film.
It was a good year for footy.
and
Go
you
the
couldn't-
legs.
You couldn't go to the cinemas to see any of my favourite movies.
No, that's a shame.
Upsetting because you're a newborn baby.
I was.
What a useless newborn baby you were.
I wasn't useless. I got to sit in the SANFL Premiership Cup once my mighty Redlegs won it, so had a use.
Was that a condition that cleared up as you got older? Your legs turned normal colour?
No, they're still quite red.
I don't know sports.
That's okay. They got a shout out.
Just reading into the Runaways,
Mm-hmm.
Paul, there is something in here for you. Did you know this?
No, I did not.
Yeah, he plays the most evil man in rock and roll history, Kim
Until
Fowley.
like 2 years ago, he played that in every film.
Yeah.
Paul, one
I'm
of
gonna
Paul's favourites.
I'm going to go watch this now because I've never actually seen it.
Oh, you have to watch it.
I'll watch it now. It's Michael
Then
Shannon.
it explains a lot of me.
Michael Shannon's in it.
While you're on your Michael Shannon trip, I suggest a very little-known film called Groundhog Day.
Yeah, just a small indie one as well. Again.
What was that? Back to the... What was that?
I think it was Future Backwards.
Back to the future.
It's a
New
Kiwi
Zealand
Back to the
rip-off one.
Future.
Yeah, this film was, as I say, obviously a product of your age, but it was weird to see Dakota Fanning play an adult, serious, very gritty role because she was
Yeah.
basically the wholesome child actor to the older generations somewhat. And seeing that Kristen Stewart actually had a personality, and that's not even a cheap shot. She pretty much
She
she
did
pretty much
Joan
played
really
cardboard
well.
in so many things. But then in this, it was like, oh, you can actually switch on and be magical.
Yeah, she is. She's like, so the Runaways are my favourite band, and the record that came out on my birthday in 1975 is my favourite album of all time. It just like to see Joan and Cherie come to life, and the stories that you read in Joan's book and Lita Ford's book, not Joan's book, sorry, Cherie's book and Lita Ford's book, actually come to life. Like now, as I'm older, it's so special to me. And to see a portrayal of Sandy West, someone who's means so much to me, but unfortunately passed away before the film came out, is just. I just adore this movie. It makes my heroes come to life, with the exception of Jackie Fox. But you guys can Google that because I don't want to tell you the Kim Fowley Jackie Fox story on radio.
Why not?
I actually want to hear it now.
Okay, well.
Well,
turns out I didn't.
Panic. Michael Shannon.
Yeah. Most evil man in rock and roll.
That's it.
He's so dreamy, though.
Yeah.
No.
And Lita Ford that went on to be in the Bangles?
No.
You sure?
No. That was Vicky Blue, went on to be in the Bangles.
Ah.
No, it was either Mickey Steele or Vicky Blue went on to be in there. That was their bass player they had after Jackie Fox left.
I'm
Lita
just
Ford went
becoming
on.
the first person in 2019 to Google the Bangles.
So Lita Ford went on to be Lita Ford. She had a massive smash hit, Close My Eyes Forever, with Ozzy Osbourne.
Yep.
And so
Dated
she was on
Nikki
her
Sixx.
own. Dated Nikki Sixx. Paid for Nikki Sixx's first ever tattoo that he got done on the Sunset Strip.
Yeah, it was Vicky.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I thought it was Vicky Blue. So she was a bass guitarist that came in after Jackie Fox. And they had about 3 bass guitarists because it all just read Neon Angel and by
Do you like
Cherie
Samantha
Curry.
Fox?
Samantha Fox, you have to like Samantha Fox.
I like her poster
Is that
work.
not the rules?
Yep, it is.
Like, doesn't matter what your orientation is, you have to like Samantha Fox.
That's it, Paul. Doesn't matter what way you're facing on your chair, any orientation is fine.
Who's Samantha Fox?
I will Google image.
Google
I'll
Samantha
Google
Fox.
image it for you, Paul, if that gives you a clue of who she
Is she
might
anything
be.
like Megan Fox? Because I don't think I'm going to like it.
Nah, you will. You will. Especially with your love for all things rock and roll and glam and 80s.
Yeah? Oh, cool. Awesome.
Cool.
Do
We've
you
got.
know that Dakota Fanning... Sorry, I was just looking at it.
I don't know her personally.
She's
No.
going to be Squeaky Fromme.
I did see that in the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or whatever
Yeah,
it's
she's going to be
called.
one of Manson's followers. So
Wow.
any image that you had of her from Innocence is going to be
No,
like
you watch
complete-
this film and you'll lose it. Straight away.
Okay. Well, I'm going to watch it now, but if there's
You're not
any
gonna watch
scene
it
with
right
Michael
now?
Shannon, I'm going to be watching Michael Shannon. So
In that case, you have to go see my mate, and you have to watch Machine Gun Preacher.
Sure.
He's in that as well. Cool. All right, this is DVG. We are continuing Ticia Rose's favourite films of all time and Paul's favourite music of all time. This is 100.5 WOW FM.
Deep.
Radio by the beach, WOW FM. It is Dave's video graveyard. Just doing some research, and we've discovered that, Ticia, you were born on the exact week that Con Air was released.
Ooh.
The seminal classic. The absolute art house film that is Con Air. Paul, discuss.
Christ, no.
We're up to your final choice this evening in your top 10 favourite films. Just doing a quick recap of the films so far. So you said you loved The Breakfast Club, Return of the Jedi, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, something called Back to the Future, St. Elmo's Fire, Rogue One, Grease, Rock of Ages, and The Runaways being your all-time favourite film. Now, the final film is also the newest film on your list, which is, well, other than The Runaways, sorry, from the year 2000,
Yes.
which is...
Well, newest setting, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess the most contemporary... Oh, well, it's set in 1985, so...
Yeah. Close
You just
to.
can't get away from it.
I can't, can I?
I think Grease being the furthest, being set in 78.
Mm.
Oh, no, it was set in the 60s.
No, it's set in the 60s.
Ah, good times, good research, good words. Tell us all about your final film.
So my final film, this line might give it away. Did you know I'm utterly insane? American Psycho. I love that movie so much. It kind of... You got to be a little bit sick to like it as much as I do, but it's just so good.
I have no idea how to spell it. There we go.
PS.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
PS.
okay. I do the same whenever I'm looking for the word.
Yeah, look, I remember seeing this when it first came out because I wasn't 3.
The darkest Bruce Wayne storyline of all the Batman films.
This is he's so Bruce in this.
Yes.
Easily. We discussed this with I think Ben when he was on the show. My favorite scene was the
Business card
scene is just amazing.
One of my friends got me the business cards for Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Jared
Humble
Leto
brag.
dies, so everyone's happy.
I've just
Yes.
picked the final song for
Do
this
you
evening.
like Huey Lewis in the news?
Hey, Paul.
Have you seen there is a YouTube short with Huey Lewis talking about the film American Psycho, redoing the entire scene?
No.
But instead of obviously talking about Huey Lewis in the news, he's talking about the film American Psycho, doing the scene shot for shot. It is amazing.
Have to see this.
Two of your choices tonight are big Huey Lewis vehicles, because obviously there was this and also Back to the Future, as well as Back to the Future 2, because it was that terrible Back in Time song that he did.
Yeah.
And he also had a cameo in, was it part 1? Yeah.
Yeah, part 1.
When Marty McFly's band does the audition. What do you love about this film, and what is your theory on whether or not the events really took place or didn't?
I don't know what I like. I just love this film. I think I get too into it a little bit because Patrick Bateman just gets into my head, and it's sort of like, what's he doing? How can he do this every single time I watch it? And there's some moments in it, because I'm a little bit weird, that make me almost piss myself laughing.
It definitely has that dark, satirical feel that you actually don't know if some of it's entertaining in a funny way or entertaining in a shocking way. And I actually remember when it came out also, because I also wasn't 3, but it was one of the first films that really glorified serial killers. Like, there was no real consequence.
No.
He's basically the main protagonist.
This and Hannibal came out very close to each other, and this was like the resurgence of censorship.
Yep.
Because I think Hannibal came out and it was going to be MA, and it got pushed to an R in Australia. I think around the world it's MA or AV, whatever.
NC-17.
But in Australia, it's got an R rating. That's when Australia went a little bit. So we became the new censorship capital of the world. So, and this one was no. I mean, the book is sealed in bookstores. You can't. You can't.
Oh,
read it.
you did tell me that there's a lot worse in the book.
Oh,
than
so much worse than the book. Have you read the book?
The book is nasty.
Yeah.
But I like that you don't have to read the movie personally. So
No,
I'll never
look,
know.
and it's not like you have to read anything. Like,
No.
the film's great. I love it. It's just...
Have you seen the companion film to this? That is The Rules of Attraction.
No. Any good? in
it's
comparison,
so far,
because I
it's
put
so
this,
far different.
Yeah.
James Van Der Beek plays Jason Bateman plays Patrick Bateman's brother.
Right.
His younger brother in uni, and he's also a sociopath, but not to the murdering style.
Yeah, I think I like the murder.
It's so far removed, but it's kind of almost like, you know, here and there they'll mention a character that's like crosses over and stuff like that, but not in any important ways. And
But I also think that film, I remember being heavily the author went, it's kind of more of a movie now, like a different beast sort of thing, because they wanted to really tie it to American Psycho, obviously, because everyone was really... But
it's what basically got the film made, was just, oh, yeah, no, this character... It's almost like he got to the final stages and he's like, no one's interested, and he's like, oh, and he's the brother. He's the brother of it.
Yeah. Nah, good choice to round off a very interesting top 10.
Yeah, it is. It is a weird top 10.
Look, you've got multiple John Hughes, so I'm fine.
There's a lot of culturing for someone born in the year that you were born. Yeah.
I like to believe that I am like not a born again, because that's the religion thing. What is it? Like reincarnation of someone who died on the Sunset Strip in 1987.
Reincarnation's also a religion thing. But
yeah,
anyway.
but like I'm not a born again heavy metal
and
star.
You could pick your...
Hey, you do really like Striper, so you could be a born-again metalhead.
I shaved my head the day I saw Striper. It was a weird thing, because I started losing my hair.
Was it a Britney moment?
Yeah. So I started losing it, and I was like, oh, I've had enough, and I shaved it, and then I saw Striper that night. Which is just...
It's weird, the memories that you attach to one another.
I know.
So have you gone back, like, as one of my favourite films being Back to the Future is from the year I was born. Mm-hmm. Have you enjoyed any amazing crime action dramas about swapping faces at all?
No.
What about convicts on an airplane being...
I like the boat one.
Oh, Cruise Control. For the final time ever, it is Ticia Rose here on DVG.
You had some honourable mentions too of movies that you didn't quite make the list, but you wanted to mention.
Yes, so a couple of honourable mentions. This one's really weird. The Bee Movie. Love it. Like, I mean, Jerry Seinfeld, The Bee Movie.
Love that movie.
Wayne's World 1
You're
and
of
2.
an age that that's probably what you know him from as well.
No, because my stepdad looks like Jerry, so we always have watched Seinfeld. Yeah, so like Wayne's World 1, Wayne's World 2, obviously, they're up in the top 10. Rockstar gets a shout out as an honourable mention because it's Michael Starr. Oh, come on, it's got Michael in it. It has to get a shout out. And that's all I can think of like now. Oh, School of Rock. That has to get a shout out as well.
Yeah, okay. You are painfully young.
I know.
Now, thank you so much for being on this evening's show. Do you have social medias that people can check out?
So seeing as I am the social media queen, I do have social medias. So you can follow me on Instagram at Ticia_Rose. You can follow me on Facebook at Ticia Rose and on Twitter, TiciaRose97. Make sure you're also following all of the Wrestle Rampage pages and you will see me on the internet soon.
That is... Yeah,
take it as you will, Adelaide. Take it as you will.
That's definitely got a certain segment of our listeners rushing to their computers.
Get off Reddit.
Hey, look, a follower's a follower.
Speaking of Wrestle Rampage Queens, next week we're joined by Luke Hazard, the definitive voice of South Australian wrestling.
Do you have to say that?
Every commentator that comes out in local wrestling has a title of a similar degree. And it's so that's why when he did a Christmas suggestion, it was the be-all end-all of South Australian wrestling voices.
Luke, just so you know, I'm not going to say you're definitive at anything.
What if he's the most definitive? I don't know. I've got nothing. What else do you have coming up other than Wrestle Rampage?
For me?
Yeah.
I'm going to be partying with Dee Schneider next week.
Nice.
So
that sounds fun.
That's rad.
It's pretty much the anniversary of him shutting down
the PMRC.
Congress. Yeah. That's
which
amazing.
is rad. So I'm super excited. I get to meet him next Thursday with my friend Sam. And then get to party with him on the Friday before I fly home from Sydney Saturday morning for our show.
Very nice.
That's the next big thing for me. And stay tuned to certain digital stations that are mentioned in my Instagram and that, because you'll hear me around soon.
That's right. WOWFM/listen. No, thank you very much for joining us. Paul has picked the final song for this evening. This is DVG 100.5 WOWFM.
Yes,